Hi, I'm Alyson, and this is my childhood 3DS XL. And I just figured today I'd give you a little bit of a tour of it, just for the heck of it. I got this in 2017, I think. I don't remember exactly, but I was very young when I first got this thing, and it has held up ever since. I'm pleasantly surprised. Fairly recently, I actually went and modded this thing, which is pretty easy to do. But yeah, so now I've got it running custom firmware, and I just figured I'd show that off a little bit. Just, I guess, starting off, got this here splash screen. I don't know if you can see that very well. And suspiciously long boot time. It'll be like that. Here's my home screen. I've got it set to cycle through a few different themes. I'll get a little bit into that in a second. Obviously I've got that's the cartridge I've got in at the moment. I've got a few different games that I cycle between. Got that installed. I've got a few DS ROMs actually that I've been screwing around with. This is the themes that I'm talking about. So this is Anemone, or Anemone, I don't know, however you want to pronounce it, Anemone, whatever. And if I go and open that up, this is custom themes for this thing. Let's just, for example, let's go and preview this one. And a lot of them also have custom music as well. So I quite like that. I've got that, and I've got the option of obviously different splash screens. That's not the one I have currently. This is the one that I have currently. You can like search for different themes and splash screens on here, and you can also use this to install custom stickers, which I also quite like. But yeah, so that's Anemone. Exit back. This here is where the magic happens. This is where you will go and install custom software and stuff. That's gonna be installing stuff, managing titles, the entire file directory for this, all that kind of thing. For some reason, things seem to have broken a second and have decided not to show the banner. Hang on. There we go, it's back. Camera, that's pre-installed. Universal Updater, that's another spot where you can install a bunch of different software. Alright, here we go. So, stuff that we've got in here. Emulators, toilet menu, save managers, payload managers. Boot NTR, that's what will allow you to actually mirror your 3DS screen to your computer, which is also pretty sweet. Lego Island port, I like that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go and install that. Alright, there's that. Virtual Boy emulator, all sorts of stuff. This allows you to hook up your 3DS to a 3DS emulator. I haven't had much luck with that because dorm Wi-Fi is a little bit weird. But yeah, you get the idea. Amiibo emulation, more save managers, port of Portal, that's fun. Pretendo, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, you get the idea. Alright, moving along. That was Universal Updater. Nintendo Zone, I think there might have been a project that brought that back to life. I haven't messed around with it much. Tomodachi Life, Super Smash Brothers. There's Boot NTR. Twilight Menu, that's your DS emulator, and actually really just a general emulator. I've got a whole bunch of things. Currently I'm working through Pokemon Fire Red through that. Virtual Console, Poke Transporter, more Virtual Console, Pilot Wings. That's a save manager, so that'll pretty much, when a game's data corrupts, which can happen, pretty much what this allows me to do is I'll back up my save data and delete and reinstall the game There's another NTR viewer, again, to be able to stream the 3DS to the PC. This here is Pretendo. Pretendo is awesome. I like Pretendo. Basically, as you know, there are no longer official servers for the 3DS and Wii U. And what Pretendo is it's an open source project to reinstate those servers on the 3DS and Wii U. I contributed a little bit to it. I don't do much programming, but I figured out enough to help work on their website and stuff like that. And yeah, so this essentially re-enables online play on the 3DS, which is very exciting. I'll get into something else about that in just a second. Again, Save Manager. This is an FTP client. So again, if it weren't for dorm Wi-Fi being weird, I could wirelessly share files between my computer and my 3DS, which removes the hassle of, me having to power off the console, take out the SD card, put the SD card in the computer to get files onto it, and then putting it back into the 3DS. You get the idea. C2G P7. This is a mod pack for Mario Kart 7. It essentially gives you custom racers, custom tracks. It has its own dedicated online multiplayer server. So with or without the Pretendo servers, this functions. And all sorts of other things. I have screwed around a little bit with it. Animal Crossing, that's a duplicate. NetPass. I very briefly messed around with this one. This allows you to get Street Pass tags over the internet. Because obviously, who uses a 3DS anymore in the year 2026? It just doesn't happen. There's the Homebrew launcher. Pretty much anything that you don't launch from the home menu gets launched from the Homebrew launcher. There's Mario Kart 7. This is really nice, because So, here's another thing. 1 second. Okay, yeah, debug mode is off. So, if I go and do left, down, select, I can take a screenshot. However, taking a screenshot normally with the custom firmware takes a screenshot of the top screen and the bottom screen. And what this does is it stitches those together into one screenshot, and it's really nice. I like it. Another Save Manager, Mod Manager, Face Raiders, Zelda, AR games. I've been playing through this one a little bit. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed that they managed to get this to run at all on the 3DS. It's something. Oh, this. Okay, this is cool. So, there is someone out on the internet right now who, you know what? I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. This here is a beta build of Splatoon ported to the 3DS. It works about as well as you think it does. But honestly, the fact that it runs at all is... it's honestly quite incredible. If you ask me, this is insane. There is a lot of missing functionality, I will say. But again, the fact that this exists is insane. I'm excited to see where this goes in the future. This here, the locale switcher. So, the thing about modding a 3DS is when you put custom firmware on it, the custom firmware removes the region locking. So this is a US 3DS console, North America. But thanks to this, I am able to run software for literally any region of the 3DS. And what the locale switcher does is it essentially just, it allows games to be translated regardless of, language. You get the idea. But also, it's also really helpful for just if a game doesn't run normally with the custom firmware. This allows you to fix that and allows you to run it. For example, this is the Japanese language version of Animal Crossing New Leaf. Again, it required this in order to be able to run it. But it runs now, and I'm using it for language practice, and it's great. I love it. There's Arctic Base. Again, I messed around with it a little bit, but I couldn't get anything to work because of dorm Wi-Fi. And same thing with that. And this was my own little experiment with trying to figure things out. This isn't really a whole lot. I very briefly messed around with trying to develop software for this beast. But as you can see, it doesn't really work. Which, oh well, it's fine. So there's that. And there's Lego Island ported to the 3DS. And one last thing that I want to show you. As you know, Miiverse got discontinued. However, again, through the magic of Pretendo, let's open this, shall we? Behold, it's alive. And I think that's pretty cool. They brought back Miiverse. So that, you get the idea. So yeah, that was my tour of my modded 3DS. So yeah, if you liked this and want to see more of it, then feel free to let me know in some way. But other than that, I'll see you later. I'm gonna get to editing this in a bit. I'm a bit tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Goodbye.